Over 40% of the world's energy consumption today is used for buildings. That accounts for nearly 1/3 of the total CO2 emission. To prevent wasting energy, the use of recovery systems has been made mandatory by law. But the current technologies have their limits. They can only recover energy from clean exhaust air. In environments where the exhaust air is polluted, the traditional technologies simply do not work. Which means that restaurants, industrial laundries, bakeries, and so on solve it by venting that heat straight out into the ambient air. This means we are wasting an enormous amount of energy every year and hurting not only businesses, but our entire climate. Until now. NJ is a Swedish green tech company on a mission to put an end to this currently ongoing waste of energy. Our first innovation, Lepido, is a heavy-duty heat exchanger developed specifically for polluted airstreams. Using Lepido makes energy recovery in hostile environments not only possible, but also profitable. Without Lepido, the heated air is released straight out into the air. With Lepido, the energy in this heated air can be recovered and reused in the building. And this heavy-duty heat exchanger can be used in many other fields too. This is how Lepido works. Most restaurants have 2 exhaust air systems, one for the general areas and one for the kitchen. The air from the general areas is clean enough for energy to be recovered by a traditional heat exchanger. However, the air from a kitchen is too polluted and it clogs up from grease and soot buildup. So instead, the kitchen air is vented straight out with no energy recovered at all. Now, Lepido can solve this. Lepido recovers energy from polluted airstreams thanks to our patented particle repellent geometry. It is based on 2 main principles: aerodynamics and thermodynamics. Lepido, being a heavy-duty heat exchanger, is larger compared to a traditional heat exchanger to make room for our patented geometry of the recovery coils. The space between the coils is much larger than between the fins of a traditional heat exchanger. The result is a unique airflow pattern where most of the particles can pass through the heat exchanger instead of sticking to the coils. This slows down the buildup on the coils and makes the air pressure drop minimal, even if a coating has formed. The thermodynamic functions are based on Lepido being a coil-based 100% countercurrent and having multiple fluid patterns. The heat transmission element has the same surface area as a traditional heat exchanger. And Lepido has no need for extended service. A restaurant can save an average of 85,000 kilowatt hours every year by using a Lepido, and contribute with an average decrease of 34 metric tons of fossil CO2 emission. If every restaurant in the world used Lepido, fossil CO2 emissions would decrease by 500 million metric tons per year. In comparison, this is more than the annual CO2 emissions of Great Britain, or the annual emissions from 108,695,652 cars, or one car driving around the world 50 million times. And that's only restaurant ventilation. And Jay's journey has only just begun, because wasting energy is no longer an option.